In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Donald Trump said it. Springfield, Ohio is dealing with a massive influx of migrants from Haiti, and some of the residents do claim that the Haitians are eating their pets, the cats, the dogs, the ducks from the local park. But police have said that they haven't received any of these reported incidents. So before we get to what's happening on the ground, let's lay out how we've gotten here. Matthew, I want you to walk us through how we've got all these cat memes and why Donald Trump is even mentioning this on the debate stage last night.
Well, it's an instructive study in how media works these days, and it's more than amusing. I think it makes a serious point, and it's part of really warfare in the media. So all this starts with a story that's been developing for years in Springfield, Ohio, where we have at least one incident where a child was killed in a car accident by a Haitian who couldn't drive. I don't think had a driver's license, and there's many such cases there. So this is a serious story. It's a serious story that's been developing for years. But what happened recently was someone noticed on the Twitters, on X, that city residents were actually complaining at city council meetings about pets and animals being taken from this park. And then someone found a video of a woman who was in Ohio, somewhere else in Ohio, who may or may not have been a Haitian immigrant, body cam footage of police coming up to her and her apparently eating a cat. Whether that was related or not, right, this is all thrown into the mix of the internet, and all of a sudden people started to get on Grok, which is X's AI, and you can easily make images there. If you haven't tried that before, it's great fun. And the memes started immediately coming from the people of Donald and his wife saving the cats and various pets. This is one from Peachy Keenan, our friend who's been on the show, saving them, bringing them to safety from the migrants. This ended up on the Drudge Report, trying to say that the campaign was over for Trump. And it also, I believe, was retweeted by the president, if not his son. So within the period of a couple days, you had people basically saying, look, the pets need to be saved. And of course, the mainstream media, very important to note, said, and some on the right said, don't do this, fact check this. We don't actually know if a cat was eaten by anyone. And I think the smarter play was people who said, we know people are complaining about something like this happening. We're going to use the memes to draw attention to it. And what's behind the curtain? Well, that's all the really bad stuff that Julio is here to tell us about.
Absolutely. Let's bring in Julio Rosas, a Blaze Media national correspondent who's in Springfield, Ohio. And Julio, take us what you've seen now on the ground, and what have some of the residents actually told you?
One of the biggest issues outside of this whole, pet and duck park issue is just the lack of housing. What's been happening is because landlords have not renewed their leases with, let's say, a family of 4 that are American citizens, and so they give them the notice, say, we're not going to renew the lease. They then bring in, I've heard numbers of 10, 15, even 20 Haitians into a 2-3 bedroom house or apartment. And they're either charging per room or they're charging per bed. I've heard that they're charging $200 for a bed per week to these Haitians. And the reason why the landlords have been able to get away with it is because the city is not enforcing its building codes. It's not enforcing the occupancy codes because that is a fire hazard. You can't have that many people in a house or an apartment like that. It's just not safe for many reasons. And so there have been American citizens who have been displaced. You can even say they've been replaced from their homes. And that's why a lot of American citizens have left Springfield. Not only that, because also of safety concerns, or they've ended up homeless. Because, when we're talking about homeless and the problem of homelessness in the rest of the country, usually there's drugs involved or there's mental illness involved. But in some cases here in Springfield, it's just simply because they don't have the means to move somewhere else within 4 different places. So there actually has been encampments, and I reported that today at theblaze.com of some of these encampments that have sprung up around Springfield.
Well, I know that there is an elderly woman that was explaining, she doesn't even feel safe anymore right now, leaving her house without some kind of weapon on her. I think we could have that clip. Let's go ahead and take a listen to that.
I am a disabled elderly woman that has such high anxiety leaving my house that I rarely do. And when I do, I'm armed, and I have my 120-pound pit bull with me. I've been followed. I've been groped. I'm 58 years old.
Right, like these are just widespread issues. It seems like with so many people coming into this town, how do you explain that people are just being told like some of this isn't happening to them, and you know what, just make this all go away, right? The news media, the national media is trying to make this out not to be a problem, but you're hearing other things there, Julio, on the ground.
Yeah, and that's been kind of the frustrating thing about it, is because you have a lot of citizens. I mean, the whole reason why the whole cats and ducks at Snyder Park became an issue, it wasn't because of the local media reporting on it. It was because people on Facebook had been raising the alarm about that issue for a while, and just happened to be that post was the one that got thrown into the stratosphere. But there are a host of other issues, and the other one that I found is, as Matt mentioned earlier, when it came to driving. I went to Tremont City, which is a very, very, very small village that has 350 people. It's right on the outskirts of Springfield, and they don't even drive to Springfield to go grocery shopping or clothes shopping. They travel further north to other towns where there's not any Haitians, because they don't even feel safe driving on the roads, and they're not harassed by the Haitians like they had been in Springfield. So. There's a multitude of issues that is being compounded all at once. It has been building for a while, but it really has reached kind of a boiling point, especially in the aftermath of them being kind of thrown into the national spotlight this week. And so, yeah, I know people have been kind of posting about how, oh, well, it's great that their jobs are being fulfilled. It's like, well, but it's coming at a cost of American citizens. That's been the issue for some time. And so. Just because, the city manager might say they haven't heard the reports. I've kind of heard differently. I'm working on that right now. But there are other issues, and citizens here have said that they feel like the city commission is not listening to them, and they're just trying to push everything under the rug. And that's why there's a petition that's being drafted right now to remove the entire city commission, because people are so fed up about this.
Julio, when you went to the city council Tuesday night, and just so everyone knows, we sent Julio, instead of going to the debate, outside the debate, where there was some kind of minor protest scheduled, he ended up going right to Springfield and getting on the ground there and checking this out for us. So tell us a little bit about the city council meeting. It was interesting what you said on Twitter. You should follow Julio on Twitter if you don't already. You said that probably most people were still accepting. They were like, I don't have a choice. I can't do anything about this. And this is just something we have to deal with. Well, others were angry. And can you tell us, just describe the sentiment? I mean, the people who are angry, are they getting really upset? You said boiling point. And what are the other people saying?
So the people that were generally supportive of the Haitians being there, it was kind of a combination of, well, we can't be racist. We have Trump mentioning us and slandering us. So, that's not good. And basically, they've just said they're here and they're here to stay. They're not going anywhere. So we have to deal with it. The other half was upset, but they weren't shouting or being confrontational like that woman earlier. I mean, she was directly saying, and she actually said afterwards, she said that she was scared, not just for herself, but for all the women in Springfield because of what she and other people have gone through. And so it was a peaceful, it was a very, calm, cool, collected city hall meeting given the circumstances. But that doesn't take away the anger that people are feeling about even just the basic tenets of what we know to be a civilized society, right? Like, there's a lot of things that have kind of gone to the wayside because it just seems like for the leadership in Springfield is more focused on accommodating the Haitians first and then the American citizens second.